Before I begin, I want to start with a little experiment. Close your eyes and try to imagine the Earth 10,000 years ago. What do you see? Do you see the woolly mammoth or the saber-toothed tiger? Let's try something different. Let's go even further into the past. Let's try to envision an Earth 100,000 years ago. Can you see your ancestors? 100,000 years ago is when we will first see the first Homo sapiens. If we really used our imagination, we could go for even further in the past. We could try 1,000,000 years into the past, but I'm not going to have you do this. Now, for us, this was a very simple exercise. But for a shockingly amount of people in this country and this world, it would be very difficult. Why, you may ask? Well, the reason is a shocking one and an alarming one. In an interview Bill Nye conducted with Bill Maher, he stated 46% of Americans believe that the Earth was created by God a mere 6,000 years ago. If you ask someone who believes in this to envision the Earth 10,000 years ago, they wouldn't be able to. And the reason is because according to them, the Earth did not exist 10,000 years ago. The same people who believe in this type of creation also believe that Darwin's theory of evolution and the Big Bang never occurred and that they are false. In this speech, I will tell you of the evidence that supports evolution, the Big Bang theory, and several other scientific theories that directly disprove the belief that the Earth is 6,000 years old. The main argument of any creationist is that since humans were not around during the creation of the universe, there's no way we can actually know how it was created. Instead, they will simply go, the only way we can truly know how the universe was created can be found in the book of Genesis. Creationists will state that God created the universe and the earth in a mere 6 days. When one questions the evidence of these creationists, they will simply point to the Bible and say, this is all the evidence that I need. They are unable to produce factual, physical evidence that can be tested. Scientists for years have been able to produce evidence that proves evolution and the Big Bang and the age of the universe and the age of the earth. This evidence has been tested and retested countless times. In fact, scientists even encourage other scientists and future scientists to try and disprove these scientific theories. This, however, cannot be said for creationists. In modern science, we have a multitude of evidence for evolution, the Big Bang theory, the age of the universe, and the earth. This evidence includes tree rings, rock layers, ice layers, fossils, and much more. The observation of galaxies and universes thousands of light years away, and many more things. I will try to touch on the examples of each of the evidence I said. The first type of evidence I would like to talk about is the rings of trees. As trees age, it creates rings inside of itself. You can see these rings in any tree anywhere in the world. The rings are easily seen in the trunk. And when we look at these rings, we can learn a great deal of the tree's life, but more specifically, we are able to learn the exact age of the tree. There are trees in the United States, specifically in California, that have been determined to be over 10,000 years old. If the Earth is only 6,000 years old, how is it possible that we have trees that are more than 10,000 years? The observation of stars and galaxies is a powerful example of scientific evidence that shows the universe is older than 6,000 years. When you look into the night sky, you are not looking at current events. Instead, you are looking into the past. You are actually looking at the history of the universe. Light travels at a constant speed. It can either be accelerated or decelerated. Because of this law, scientists are able to determine how far an object is from the Earth. When you look into the night sky, you are seeing stars that are tens of light years away. Some are even hundreds, some are thousands, and some are even millions of light years away. So what does this mean? Well, what it means is in order to reach these stars, we'd have to be traveling at the speed of light for X amount of years. As the website 500questions.wordpress.com talks about, the closest supernova we have been able to see is 160,000 light years away. This means that whenever we see these objects, we are seeing something that occurred 168,000 years in the past. Since the supernova is the end stage of a star, it is easily and rightfully inferred that the star that created this supernova is much older than 168,000 years, which would indicate that the Earth is a lot older than just 6,000 years. For argument's sake, let's just throw out these past two examples, and let's talk about a fact that is quite remarkable. In Antarctica, scientists take these very long metal tubes, these hollow metal tubes, and they drill into the ice to extract giant and very long cylinders of ice. And when you look at these cylinders of ice, you can see thousands upon thousands of layers of bubbles and snow. The bubbles and snow are created by summer-winter cycles. So what happens is when it comes time for summer, the snow will melt and will create these bubbles. And once it's winter, if the bubbles will freeze and snow will pack on there again. And after many years, it just creates denser and denser pockets of snow and layers. And all these layers build up over time. Well, each layer is created by a summer-winter cycle. And as we all know, a summer-winter cycle only occurs once a year. So we can determine that since it only happens once a year, each little layer is 1 year. As Bill Nye points out in his debate with Ken Ham, if the Earth is only 6,000 years old, and we have 680,000 layers, that means in order to have a summer-winter cycle, we would have to have 170 summer-winter cycles in 1 year. Think if we had that much, somebody would have noticed by now. With the multitude of evidence of support in Darwin's theory of evolution, the Big Bang Theory, the age of the universe, and the age of the Earth, it is clear to see that there's no possible way the Earth is a mere 6,000 years old. It is sad to know that in the year 2014, almost half of Americans still believe that the Earth was only created 6,000 years ago, and they choose to disregard science and scientific evidence of this. And they choose to adopt a story that was written thousands of years ago and has no evidence to back that story up. The real tragedy of this is many of these people that believe in this are forcing this belief onto their children. And as they force this belief onto them, they're discouraging to question this story and discouraging from learning science. If the United States continues to eschew science, in the coming years, we will fall further and further behind other nations in the field of innovation. We must make it our mission to encourage children to question this universe and question science. Because if we do not do this, the next Einstein or Newton may never be discovered. And whatever treasures he or she was going to bring to the world of science will remain buried forever.